It's not very often that you're gifted something that continually gives and wants nothing in return. Those kind of situations are, to most of us with a modicum of common sense, called too good to be true. And that is the case with the CW and Batwoman. All they do is give and ask nothing in return. I mean, they've given me the gift of 3 seasons worth of content for my channel in the form of a bastardized version of an established character plucked from the pages of the pre-existing mythos of the comics and dropped into a wonderland of lesbians, evil white males, and emasculated black men. All of this created by the brilliant minds of Greg Berlanti, my favorite talentless heifer Caroline Dries, and their merry band of blue checkmark brandishing idiots who consistently churn out stories that carry a level of quality only surpassed by a cage of primates who spend their days picking bugs off each other and painting the walls of their enclosure with their own fecal matter.
I was checking the specs on the end line for the rotary girder. I'm retarded.
So, my dear friends, allow me to tell you the brief tale of Gotham Knights, a forthcoming television program from the mentally stunted activists who undoubtedly peruse Twitter and CNN for different ways to show our intrepid heroes battling the evil of cis-heteronormative patriarchal toxic white masculinity and systemic injustices that are continually perpetuated against marginalized groups of POCs and BIPOCs. So let's take a look at this article that came out yesterday over on thehollywoodreporter.com. James Stottero, Natalie Abrams, and Chad Fiveash are penning the script based on characters from the DC Comics, as we see the picture of them to the right there. The CW is eyeing another corner of the DC Comics universe. The network is developing a drama titled Gotham Knights from Batwoman writers Chad Fiveash, James Stottero, and Natalie Abrams. The project is not a Batwoman spin-off, however. It's based on characters from the DC Comics created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. Warner Bros. Games also has a Gotham Knights video game due for release next year, but the two projects aren't related. Like the other DC series on the CW, Gotham Knights will be produced by Warner Bros. And Berlanti Productions. The log line for Gotham Knights reads, in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they are all framed for killing the Caped Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors. Fiveash, Stottero, and Abrams, who is married to the Hollywood Reporter West Coast TV editor Leslie Goldberg, are writing the script. Fiveash and Stottero will executive produce with Berlanti Productions, Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, and David Madden. Abrams will be a co-executive producer. In addition to Batwoman, Fiveash and Stottero have worked as writers and producers on Fox's Gotham, Sci-Fi's Krypton, and the CW's Vampire Diaries, and One Tree Hill. Abrams has penned several Batwoman episodes, as well as installments of All-American and Supergirl. Fiveash and Stottero are repped by Verve. As you can tell by the brief synopsis of the series as written in the article, the show is going to be a veritable cornucopia of social messaging and identity politics. If you expected anything else from the CW and Berlanti Productions, Superman and Lois notwithstanding, you're playing a very dangerous game of falsely high expectations. And my wager would be that given the protagonists are going to be, quote, the children of villains, this will be a who's who of diverse characters who will only serve to represent a marginalized group who's been systemically wronged by an unjust society set up only to benefit the super wealthy and everyone else can eat cake, as Marie Antoinette said. In all seriousness, I hate shows like this because they won't allow villains to be villains. They've all got to undergo some transformative redemption arc where the audience is told to feel bad for them because they're not really bad people. It was societal constraints and injustices they've suffered through because of either ethnicity or their sexual proclivities. And that's what the entire crux of this series will undoubtedly descend into. A bottomless pit of identity politics and social justice lecturing about how men, with a heavy emphasis on how white men being the root of all problems, and it'll be up to our diverse team of misfits to correct the wrongs of these snarling melanin deficient ghouls that they perpetuated against these innocent angels and gentle giants.
serious?
Speaking of ethnicity and sexual proclivities, would anyone care to venture a guess at who they'll cast to portray the deceased Bruce Wayne's rebellious adopted son? Considering it's being written and produced by a triad of CW's Wokey McWokersons, I would say the stone-cold lead pipe lock is that the son will be either a person of color, non-binary, or gay, who's been mistreated by the system until adopted by Bruce Wayne, who he's always secretly resented because of his inherent white privilege and hoarding of resources that could be redistributed to Gotham's less fortunate as an atonement for being rich, white, and powerful. I mean, listen to me, over here using pronouns like, quote, he, to describe a male adolescent, when I should probably check they-them's Twitter bio to make sure that I'm not incorrectly identifying Zer, because misgendering and incorrect pronoun usage are akin to physical violence. If you're a smooth-brained idiot who's been led to believe that the real world is just like Twitter, where everyone will acknowledge and placate your mental illness and call you wind chime tumbleweed majestic dolphin because your intersectional purple-haired, half-head shaved septum ring-wearing gender studies prof told you that there's nothing wrong with you, it's society that has the problem.
Fuck me, right?
But I digress. I think we'd all benefit immensely if they just commissioned the same artist who designed Snowflake and Safe Space to design the desired aesthetic of Bruce Wayne's trans non-binary adopted son whose pronouns are Zer Zoobly Zoo. Whatever Zoobly Zoo chooses to identify as, or how many pronouns are in they-them's imaginary Gotham Knights Twitter bio, you can rest assured that I'll be there to skewer it the exact same way I've managed to lampoon Batwoman on a regular basis since 2019, much to the chagrin of my therapist, but to the delight of their 401k.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Look at the ratings from the past 2.5 seasons of Batwoman, for example. Season 1 was bad. Let's not misconstrue the viewing numbers with quality, because I sat through every poorly written trash fire and reviewed them all. But the lead was Kate Kane, who, to die-hard fans, is the only Batwoman, not
And living in a van down by the river.
Bat faker Ryan Wilder, who we all know was a diversity hire by Caroline Dries. Ruby Rose was either miserable to work with or a victim of horrible production circumstances. But the fans of the character loved the show because of the character Kate Kane from the comics, whereas Ryan Wilder's comic run was cut short because people hated it more than they hated the live-action version. At least the actress Javicia Leslie's beautiful. It numbs a minute amount of the pain sitting through Season 2 inflicted on my psyche, and the ratings reflected the audience's displeasure with the recasting of the lead. Only to have recasted Kate Kane, sort of, and then sent her away again so that the diverse new POC could remain the lead in the seat of power. Season 3's ratings are comedically bad, and the writing is playing the role of antagonist this season because each of the D-Team replacement rogues gallery has been a pathetic dollar store knockoff of a vastly superior original villain, down to the fact they went so far as to create a tokenized black version of the Joker.
Get what you fucking deserve!
I personally can't wait to see how terrible Gotham Knights is going to be, because we all know that every time a group of blue checkmark brandishing, white-faced creatives write a show, it's virtually always a version of the Oppression Olympics starring characters that the writers outwardly reflect their own internalized biases and prejudice, then use them as surrogates to screech at the audience about how bad they are and how they need to do better. Black Captain Falcon, can you help a brother out?
You've got to do better.
That's it, folks. Gotham Knights is coming to the CW from the creative minds behind Batwoman, and we're all going to bear witness to its greatness and bask in its glory. Not really, but you can forego the pain and just watch me review it because I'm masochistic and I hate myself. So if you're looking forward to that in the second half of the go-home season of Batwoman, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate all of our subscribers. And today, if that's the day that I've earned it and you choose to subscribe, make sure you turn that bell on for notifications. That way you're notified every time we upload a new video or go live for one of our weekly live streams. And don't forget to drop a comment down below. Yes, it's your turn to opine in the comments section and let us know what you think of the forthcoming series, Gotham Knights. How bad will it be? Will the cringe reach Batwoman levels, or will it exceed our expectations and become something much, much worse? Let us know. Alright gang, I'm out of here. And you all know the line, my Etepians. I'm Etepa Queen of the Place to Be Reviews, and I've been here with all of yous. If I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. I'll catch you on the next one. And remember,
It's better to burn out than to fade away.